All right, what is up, guys? We have our journey from our last video, which is programmatic SEO. We have Troy, Jameson, Juliet over there making some salads. Joey and Ed on the call. Let's go, guys. Thank you guys for showing up. Now, here's what's really crazy. If you guys remember on the last call, this whole thing was just a test. We are just testing a brand new website and testing if this will work. It was almost a prediction. And I just want to say, yes, it worked. A little too good, in a weird way, because what I did not realize, Google is a big fat liar. And for some reason, maybe I misunderstood, so I'm going to take some credit. But all over their site, they're like, you get 50,000 calls for free a day. And I was like, bet, you know? And so when Google ranked all 33,000 of my pages, basically I realized at basically page 6,000 that it was costing me every single time it was ranking a page. And so even at micro pennies, when you call something 6,000 times, it adds up. And so my final bill, let's see, with Google. Oh yeah, my final bill with Google ended before I noticed it and caught everything. My final bill, I'm just gonna is because if you guys just watch video 1 on the last week's and you guys don't catch this video and you guys don't watch this part, this one video is going to be a learning lesson. I'm going to show you guys how much it cost me because I'm realizing this. What up, Rob? How you doing, man?
What up, Rob?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Great. Glad you're joining the call, man. I haven't seen your face before, but glad you're here.
Man, love to be here, man. Thank you. I'm very interested in what you guys doing. You're building some awesome stuff,
dude. This is intense stuff. So yeah. This is the video 2 from video 1. We're reviewing what has happened over the weekend, and I'm about ready to show basically what I've learned. And so far, I'm going to show what I learned up front because I want you guys to know. If you guys just watch the first video, you're going to get hyped. But if you don't watch this video, you're going to lose $438. All right.
438. Oh, went up. So you said right. 378 in the chat.
Yep, I said 378, and they are still adding money.
Shoot.
All right. Yes, dude, their system is super unjust, man. Like, they don't report live. They don't tell you all this stuff. Like, it's like, hey, like, guess what? You were charged this much and you were charged this much real fast. And yeah. And so here's what I did, right? So if we review what happened, let me show you guys what the stats is. Okay. I went over to Google Search Console and I went to submit my sitemap. All right. And I submitted my sitemap. If you guys don't know what the sitemap is, a sitemap, if basically, if I go to my website, right, sitemap.xml, right, you see all these links, these giant links, right? It's going to load because there's 33,000 of them, okay? All of those links, that's a sitemap, okay? So I submitted that sitemap, and Google says, hey, there's 333,841 pages on your website. But as you guys know, the reality is, there's actually only one single page. All right, like here's like I'm going to show you guys this, okay? So I'm going to go into my file manager, okay? As soon as this loads, this whole entire thing is strictly literally just an index file, okay? I have some other files that are attached to it, but there's no other pages, okay? So I go to my public.html and then all right, so basically right here, there's a lot of stuff going on, but this index.php file, that's really the only page. All these other pages kind of support it, okay? The test page and all that stuff, just ignore that. That's just me playing around with stuff. All right, but nonetheless, this is a single page website, okay? One single page. However, to Google, it looks like 33,000 pages. All right, let's see as soon as this loads. All right, any second now.
While we're waiting for it to load, one thing this did make me think of is remember when I brought up doing the health and wellness, why you were choosing this rather than the doctors, and because this, you know, it could go both ways, but it would have been nice if at least the money would have went to the doc to what you wanted to do in the first place.
Hey.
Hey, I know, but I get the understanding. It could backfire the other way too. So
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, okay. So here is the site. This is the new site now. As you can see, I could search by a city. So if I search in, let's just say Reno, Nevada, you can see it will pull up all of the Renos. It has a little drop down, and then I could search, and then it will pull up all of the dispensaries in Reno. Okay. Here's what I don't have now. I am no longer connected to Google API. I broke up with them fast. All right. If I would have let them run over the weekend, and I would have like just casually not, if you guys skip this video and only watch the first one, there's some people that are going to do it and they're going to go to sleep and they're going to connect their credit card. Okay. So there should be a disclaimer on the last one, and they're just going to let it run. They're going to let it go to sleep for a weekend. And literally it charged me. If it would have ranked every single one of those pages, it would have been about a $2,000 to $3,000 bill for me over the weekend.
Yeah,
to rank every single one of those pages.
Yeah, you may want to add something to the beginning or a little pop-up, as warning, so that they don't come at you because.
Yeah, it's wild. So guess what? It's massively insane. So I learned fast. Now here's what it did. When you learn something so sharp, you tend to steer hard in the other direction. Okay, so here's what I've learned is in the future, what Troy just said is, oh man, it's a shame that all of these, think about this. If I look at my stats, let me show you guys how it's worked so far. Out of these 33,000 pages, I shut it off at 6,000. So essentially, if I go to pages, there's about, if you look at what happened with Google, 6,000 were indexed, 3,000 stopped with Google because all of a sudden I shut it off and I'm like, whoa, oh man, like I'm getting charged. So I had to rebuild the whole site. So what you guys are seeing right here is not the original site. I had to rebuild this and find a new data provider. This is not Google Maps anymore. So in that downtime, Google ranked, indexed 3,000 extra pages while I was down, okay? And here's what it said. If you go to the reasons, I love that they tell you, right? The one, it says there was a page redirect. So it was basically saying the very first homepage redirected because all it was on there, the map got shut off and all the listings got shut off. So all there was on there was this ad. Right? So the only thing to click on was my 2 ads. So basically when they rank, they just say, hey, look, like you're just redirecting to ads. Like this is probably a spammy site. It's probably not real. So they stopped on that part. Then the second part that they gave me a warning for is crawled, currently not indexed. They basically said, hey, like we crawled all these pages. We're not indexing them because like there's no new information. So I resubmitted all of these back to Google. Okay. But I fixed my data source. I am not using Google Maps. I am not using Google Maps today, in the future, ever again. I am never connecting my credit card again to Google. That was a terrible mistake. It's amazing how fast it could call 3,000 times. All right, so I am going to in the future be highly cautious about what data is returned. Okay, so check out this. You guys think about this. When I go into my Google Analytics, let me show you guys what the results are from. Do you guys want to see the results of what 3,000 pages gets indexed from? Do you guys want to see how much traffic I've gotten so far?
Yeah, and I also want to see where the misunderstanding was on your part, what they actually where you thought it was free, but it wasn't. So yeah. the nuances in the phrasing or the words. I mean, what did they charge you for then? And what was the charge? Did they give you any of it for free? Was it maybe you got so much a day, but because you got it all in one day rather than spacing it out? Could you still do it for free, but just spread it out over a month rather than trying to do it in real time?
Yeah, it's crazy. The more I tried to search for it, they have like anomalies, and you could set up alerts. All they do is tell me this is anomaly. They don't. Yeah, it's crazy. So I definitely misunderstood, and I think what it is when I called the API, maybe there is a free spot. Maybe somebody knows. Maybe somebody watching this video in the future can say, hey, look, this is where the free one is. And I use the premium one because I requested back reviews, addresses. Like I requested back everything. I like customized my request. You know what I mean? I wanted all the stuff back because I was like, dude, this is great. Like they give me all this free, but that was my misunderstanding. And then for them not to have like a live update, like, hey, look, you're using this right this very second. Like, why? It's like a 24-hour delay. Everything else is live. I don't get it, but whatever. Hey.
So you're not sure where you read that?
It was on the API. I believe on the API pages, whenever in that last video, like it showed, like when we were looking at the API documentation, it shows that there's like 50,000 calls for free.
Okay.
But I think that's the basic calls. And I think that's the misunderstanding between me and them.
Right.
And how easy it is to just like, oh, here's the premium version because I want the actual addresses. I want the proper data, you know?
Right. So what did they charge you for then? Where can you find that? In terms
so here's
of
a
charge you for this many calls and this much data.
Yeah, so there's a cost breakdown. Let's see. So this is invoice by month. That's a whole month off. Let's go. Look at that. Usage.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to find out. You know, if you can fine tune your calls, maybe you didn't need as many, and you could still do it at a reasonable expense or cost, or is the basic just going to be enough?
Yeah, can you program your software to limit how many calls it does, like in the future?
Yeah, so it does look. Oh yeah, absolutely. But here. So you see how it says free tier? So it does look like I did use some free stuff like maps. There's 160%, right? $60 worth. Then there's the usage, which says 402 during that time. So it looks like they do give credits. I just don't know when they're going to apply them. So, yeah. Okay, so now here's the solution. Okay, so here's what I've realized is I think this is a fantastic thing, but think about this. If we look at the stats of the actual traffic, think about what is happening. We'll go to performance, and this is what's happened, okay? So you can see the site never existed Wednesday, November 6th, 7th, and then the 8th. The 8th is when I published this. So this was 4 days ago. I got my very first click and impression from Google, okay? When we were on that video last Thursday, this website was not published. Since then, they've sent 169 clicks from Google. That means my site has been on Google and like been on the search results, and somebody's clicked to my website 169 times. Out of that, I've had 19,800 impressions. So that means my site has appeared 19,000 times on Google. The average position I appear is number 26 so far. They've only ranked those 6,000 pages so far. They've only listed those 6,000. If we look down here in the queries, I could do rows per. We can see all of the things that I'm coming up for. Dispensary near me, weed dispensary near me, sweet leaf dispensary, recreational dispensary near me, dispensaries near me. Basically all of the keywords that I'm just coming up for. And then we start seeing below, we start seeing cities, right? Virginia dispensary, Richmond dispensary, right? These are the things that I wanted to rank. I'm ranking for the dispensary words because that's what is on my... When that Google crawls my page, they're seeing that these words are on my site. And so now they're showing it on the site. So now go ahead.
Did you get any clicks on the ad and did you get any sales on the affiliate ad?
Great question. All right. So
because
now
maybe it's worth it.
Now here's the thing. There was basically nothing on the site besides my ad.
Right.
So I got 14 clicks to my ad from this. All right. And 14. So that's just from the free traffic. This is not me promoting something. This is the only thing on there was basically the ad. So I'm hoping that it goes up more now that there's actual stuff. Okay. So now that Google's indexing it properly, but you could see people are still clicking over, even if there was nothing. There was still at least like they saw it. They clicked. So What I'm mostly looking at, if we go to the performances, if you search in this, imagine if whatever they're searching for, they're actually finding on my list. So if you think of these customers, I'm matching them to product market fit. I'm matching to what they're searching, to what they're actually looking for, and then they're clicking and be like, okay, I'm going to go to this dispensary. Does that make sense? That means, now here's the thing. I personally am not getting paid by any of these companies. This is horrible. This is the worst. What is this?
You got to figure out how to monetize it. What data source are you pulling this information from now?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Remember when we talked about our scraping classes and we talked about finding exposed APIs and all that stuff? That's all I did, right? If we go to Weed Maps, let me just show you guys this. If we go to Weed Maps, you guys see how they have these dispensaries here? Well, check out this. If I right click this and I go into inspect, and then we go over here, this is just some super like nerdy stuff, okay? If we go into inspect, we go to network, right? Watch this. Watch what happens when I hit refresh. Look at all these things that pop up. Do you guys know what all these are? Does anybody know what these are?
Webhooks.
Right? Webhooks and API
calls.
Getting information.
Getting information. Okay, so check out this. If I click on this, you see how there's a header. A header. Look at this. You see how this is the request URL? This is calling this URL request. It's a get call. Okay. And then it previews. So we can actually preview all the data. Well, I could scroll down and I could find, some of this is just random stuff. It's just computer code. But I could scroll down and I could find
the API
key. Data that this is returning. And so this is, for me, it's like, oh, wow, free data. Like, score. So guess what? I just call a data source like this one. Like this one. This is not my data source. I'm not giving you guys my source. Just joking. It rhymes with Leafly. All right. So look, I'm just calling this data source and it just returns.
You just froze. You're still frozen. You just froze, Jeff. Did you hear me?
Okay.
You're kind of glitching. You're getting glitchy. I can't hear you. Can't hear you now. Can't hear you. Everybody, are you muted, Jeff, or is that me?
I can't see him or hear him either.
All right, yeah, Jeff.
Just some tab issues.
There you go. Yeah,
Sometimes
he's got to jump off and back on. What's up, Rob? Where are you at?
I'm in Chicago. Chicago.
Okay, Chicago.
How about you?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Does it work?
We're back, Jeff.
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right. Cool. So, so essentially, here's what I ran against. Why, when I'm thinking about it, if I'm getting charged for every single time a listing was called on my site, and otherwise I'm using somebody else's API call, what's the solution? All right. So here's the next step, guys. Partnering with some business like Ed is what I would highly suggest, where somebody's building a business where it targets. You could send the leads to somebody like that. Also, check out this. If we go to ShareASell, this is what I've learned. What if I could have a data source that is all my affiliate products? So instead of it being all of the dispensaries, what if somehow we could find a data source of something large enough that we could still utilize the same strategy of where it's like Pennsylvania, Reno, it's still doing the same thing. But I wanted to return all of our affiliate products or something that we get paid for every single time they click and buy. Does that make sense? That's the direction that I'm heading towards. So
what if it's like local stores that are selling stuff, but then you have like products somehow related also? to some of those stores. Could be clothing stores. It could be, I don't know what the affiliate products are, but.
Absolutely. And you can do that. Now, here's the two options. One is find a free data source like I did, so it doesn't cost you and it pulls from their API. Or two, go scrape all the data and then populate your website with the website scraper API that we talked about last time. All right, so those are the two ways that I would recommend getting data from here on out. But the way that I think is the best is things like, check out this. If we go to ShareASell, and I'm going to find some other sites like this. Right now, I'm using Dr. Dabber. And if you guys look, all it is this cute little banner. And then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it's this little banner. That's it. That's so, look at, that's like 5% of the freaking website. Well, now look at this. If we go to ShareASell, check out this. If we go up here and we go to merchants, I'm looking for this. So there's something called search for merchants, but there's also merchant data feed merchants. So all of a sudden I clicked data feed and I was like, wow, that's the exact word that I'm thinking I need in my brain. So all of a sudden I come onto this stuff and check out this. There's sites, look at this one. 59,000 products from this one, scorebig.com. They pay 2%, but the average earning per click is $5.54. And guess what? I could literally download a giant CSV of all of their products. And it's a giant data source. And I could do the same exact thing. If you guys know what ScoreBig is, here, I'll go to this site, right? This site, check out this. It's all of sports business, sports tickets.
That's awesome.
In every single city and state, and then plug in my affiliate product now. And I rank for tickets in stuff like this. And now we search up, okay, so now if we were to do this idea, I'll go to buy tickets, let's buy tickets now. That's a cool buy tickets now. Las Vegas, is that a word? Las Vegas. Okay, let's check this. Look at people search up buy tickets now 260 times a month. That's terrible. I don't want to compete at 260 times a month. So we need to find something better. So we need to put football tickets. I wonder if like Las Vegas gets searched up in all of these cities. So Los Angeles.
Or on sale. What about like on sale?
Football tickets on sale. There you go. Oh, look, look at that. Cheap. UK. Look, cheap gets searched more than on sale. Football tickets cheap. Right? And I might have football tickets cheap. And then all of the cities that this ranks in. Oh, look, football game tickets cheap gets searched. Look at that one. Football game. 16 million times a month. Look at, now we're talking. NFL tickets, game time tickets, college tickets, right? So we might start to find these other ones that we're able to rank for, but you can see like this. A
little bit.
It's him. It's his internet.
This is some madness.
It's that Vegas. It's Vegas bug, huh?
It's the Vegas internet. It's hungover.
I'm going to do one for.
Google's trying to stop your message.
Bro, it is. All right.
Yeah, Google's mad
so
at
here's
you.
the idea is, oh yeah, I'm not ready to scrape the crap out of you.
So you want to you're looking at building an affiliate directory based on location.
Correct. I see that these location things work. Now here's what I've realized is a lot of these things is, yes, there's businesses, but look at a lot of these too is reviews. And like, so what I was thinking is some of these, as crazy it is, where I was going with that original, the doctor site, and even when we were looking at ZocDoc, ZocDoc's business model, okay, if we look at ZocDoc's business model, ZocDoc pays based off of every time your first appointment. So it says they get new patients. So for every time you get a new patient on their ZocDoc site, because they rank you by local city and state, they pay you. You can see it's free to get listed, free to book from Google, like all of these things. But one-time patients from Google, there's a one-time fee based off your specialty and location. So you can see here's what ZocDoc did. They did the same thing that we're doing. But the difference is they decided to charge every single doctor a one-time, first-time booking fee for every person that signs up and purchases and like books an appointment through their site. So they've essentially turned every listing into an affiliate product, just like I'm talking about. But they own the sales process. Okay, so what I'm saying is there's different positions for us to monetize these things. One, we could have giant data feeds where we list all of these sites. I also started thinking of like flights for different businesses, like literally, because it's like, here's what I love. I could sit here and rank a site and Google's going to send all the traffic. I am not promoting this on my website. I am not telling somebody, hey, Google search this and do this. So for me, I could create these sites and not have to promote. The promotion is me just running the code and getting the code all correct and getting it all done. And here's what I'm doing for you guys. Right now, I'm working on a class. I think I'm going to have it maybe on this Friday, like a live class that we host. But I'm creating basically a prompt of what you need to tell the AI to achieve to do this. Because essentially what I had to do, I had to recreate my whole brand new site from scratch. Well, ultimately, I'm using what's called cursor.com, right? I'm using a combination of my AI team and cursor.com, okay? It builds the front end. It loads for minutes. All right. AI team builds the front end for us. And usually doing the final connection for us once we have all that stuff. All right, so okay, so you could see this is where I'm building it in my AI team, right? I'm building all the branding, I'm building how it looks, I'm building everything out in my AI team. If I go back in here, I have all of the history of what I'm like arguing with it back and forth to get it to do what I needed to do. All right, and I'm arguing this because
you're arguing with it.
They're fit. I have to tell it like 60 times, like, dude, stop doing that. So. Yeah,
I know. I don't know why it acts like it's like the worst employee like programmer that is just super incapable of doing their job.
Also, I don't know how to do its job, so I'm at its mercy. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is right now. So I'm just living with it. All right. So now here's the thing, and then I come over here into Cursor and I connect it where it makes the sitemap XML. The robot text, and then I connect it to this locations.json file. The locations.json file is 331,000 cities and states in the United States. That's what that whole file is. So that's the database. I use a JSON file as a database because then you don't have to set up a database. It's super clean and fast. It's awesome, you know? So like I use that as the database and like it works, you know? And so here's the thing is I want to continue to make these sites. Do I want to continue to grow this one? Yeah, sure. I'll continue every once in a while, jump in and I'll add a couple extra affiliate products. Maybe eventually I'll sell it because you can see I'm ranking for different keywords and maybe it does that. However, all I would have to sell is literally the cPanel file, a cPanel server. Like I would walk away super clean from this thing. I would recommend building an email list and all these other things. So there is this transition of like, building an actual business that I think exists on these things, not just ranking for the keywords. So
for the ranking, like, do you need to constantly like update the sites though? Because like, isn't like part of like SEO like your website has to be updated all the time to keep ranking or keep relevant?
I mean, maybe
there's tons of factors. It's not just how many times it updates, but it's also just like how many people search the terms that are on your website, how much time they spend on your website. I mean, there's like hundreds of different indicators they use, and it's proprietary information they won't tell anybody.
Yeah. I just basically feel like if we look at what Google's doing right here, right? So this is Google Search Console. They have basically a sitemap update. So you could essentially upload your sitemap. If we make the sitemap have hundreds of thousands of pages, basically Google's going to see that there's hundreds of thousands of pages. So I might not be able to control anything after that, and I might not be able to sit there and update it all the time because I don't want to do that. But I can control, oh, Google accepts 33,000 pages? Bet. Oh, and you guys are ranking all my pages? Oh, bet. I'm gonna just capitalize on what I know and what I could keep doing, and then double down on what works. If you see this one says weed dispensary near me, you bet your butt I'm gonna probably own that domain name one day, and then I'm gonna own this domain one day, and I'm just gonna try to dominate on Google. But I'm also gonna sit here and try to figure out. I realize kind of what Ed has. Ed has a business that is local, so I also realize I want a couple leads for him in his local area, and I start capturing words like this in his local cities and states and all of these local areas. I only need a couple searches that are super targeted to be able to get him a couple leads, and then it's like we're making money already. So I still believe that there is a benefit to going wide, which is what I'm doing with all of these cities and states, and hyper targeted also in maybe like 3 or 4 cities, a couple zip codes, and then targeting all of these keywords and making it dynamically generated that way. So I'm still trying to figure out that in my brain, but I still see that it works, and that maybe that's the categories. I don't know. So I'm not too sure how it's going to fully get there, but I think that there's some power in this. So using physical locations like physical services like Ed, or using these services and using data feeds from here, because downloading a CSV, if I download the CSV, I could turn it into a JSON and I could turn it into a full database, or I could use the CSV as a database. But there's also a ton of other products like this one called Rotita. I don't know what this is. It's like clothing, but maybe you have tons of different clothing for seasons. I don't know. There's just different ways that you could leverage this, and it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here over the next few months, so yeah, what do you guys think? How do you feel you could use this? Or have you done something in the previous that you're like, okay, like maybe I could connect this to this if I could figure out this coding part or something? Rob, you got something?
Yes. I'm working on the urgent care. I shared it with you, the urgent care near me. So,
okay.
I mean, yeah, it's just, I work with data. I try to download the data but it's not the one page. That's what I was trying to get to it, like get the one page and then do the call. Maybe because I'm using Bolt, which is, it's not doing any PHP on the wrapper. So, but do you think PHP is the key for this kind of site, right?
Yeah, the thing that PHP is doing is PHP. Okay, so if I go here, okay, there's a couple things that the PHP is doing. Is if I click on this Wyoming, you see up here the top domain. Watch how if I click on a new city, it changes. Okay. So if I send you this domain, okay, if I literally was to send right now in the chat this whole little this domain right now, if you analyze this, let's just say if I sent it in our chat on Facebook, okay? So I'm going to send it in our AI coding lenses. If I send it here, watch what happens. You see how it says dispensary in Alcova, Wyoming? It literally changed the metadata. It changed the metadata, but watch what happens if I click it. If I click it, it actually goes to this page and it changes the words, Alcova, Wyoming. and it actually does the search. If I hit search, like it will do the search too, right? So there's no dispensaries found in that place. So it
doesn't
actually
do manually. Oh, I thought it would do the API call right away.
Normally it will, but there's just no cities in this one.
Okay.
So let's just say if there's one for Anchorage, if I go back and do the Anchorage, it will do the API call right away if there is cities available. So now this will call that API call away right away.
Okay.
Let's see. Hopefully it does. Don't make me a liar. It worked last night. All right.
Here we go.
All right. Yeah. But normally it worked last night. Hopefully I'll update it where it actually works, but that's what it's supposed to do. All right. So, all right. So it does that call and then it ranks all those keywords for that new one, essentially is what it does. But that's what the PHP is. Now you could also do it, what's called in here. There's another file that will do it too. So there's PHP, but I'm also using this file. So it's called a .ht access file.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 3 files that I would say using. I like using PHP because PHP keeps my HTML slim. Like I just like to keep as little as I have to use, keep it. I'm not using the functions. The error log is just a thing. The Bing site auth is because I submitted my sitemap to Bing now. So now I'm getting on Bing. Okay. So literally the same thing. I submitted my sitemap to Bing and Bing sees that I have 2,000. I don't know why they see less, but I have 2,000 site pages.
28,000, yeah.
28,000, right? So they're going to soon start ranking this on Bing. So that's just free traffic from there also. So now I have 2 traffic sources. So essentially, ultimately, like whenever they rank these, that's kind of the goal. So, let's see. So you basically those files we want their ranking is that sitemap. And then this robot.txt file is essentially if that was to naturally visit, those are the things that they're going to see and they're going to say, where is the sitemap located? And if you have other sitemaps, you could add that to the robot.txt file. And so essentially the robot.txt file and the index.php and the sitemap are the main ones that you may need. So what you got, Rob?
So the sitemap is created by the 33,000 pages is created by the script and it's already inside the robots.txt, right?
So if I view this, so if I hit view, we'll look at this. This one basically says, here's my robot.txt. So it says your sitemap is here and it just points to my sitemap. And now if I go to the sitemap, this is actually the sitemap. It says .php, but really this code removes that .php, okay? So if I go to view here, here's what this does, okay? So this basically says prevents any white spaces, so it gets rid of any white spaces, gets location data from my locations.json file, all right? Then it outputs the XML declaration, and then here's what it does. My home page is here. And then it says, this is the home page and it says updates frequently. So it's the priority is daily, it updates. And then it says generates URL for each city and state. And then processes all the cities, gets it in the location, makes one for the city, the states, makes one for the city, and then creates a URL for every single one of those. And then creates it and says it's updated daily and here's the priority. And then it adds and then adds the cities, and then adds the states, all of this. And then that's in that giant XML folder that this creates that whole entire thing for us. And that's the code. So this is the magic. Ultimately, little code right here, building that little search part is step 1. So what I'm doing is I'm creating this a step-by-step that is going to say, like, as long as you tell the AI to do this and you got those checks done, then you could move on to the next step, right? And step 1 is like, find your data source. Well, I want you guys to be able to have a data source where I want to put together a couple data sources so you guys can use. I just found one. It's StubHub, right? StubHub literally is, imagine an API. They give you an API that has your affiliate link attached to it of all the cities and states of all this, like sports and all the, anything that you could buy like tickets from, they give you. and it's all StubHub, and it's like dynamically generated. You could rank all the sites, all of that stuff, but they're using their API. So every single product on your dispensary will be an affiliate product. That's the goal for me. For me, I could scrape and I could send free traffic to dispensaries. That's a great job, Jeff. I'm glad. I'm super glad.
Right there. I put my hand up just because I know
you're a gentleman and a scholar.
But is no, because I don't think I've ever done that before. Maybe that's right there where you're at Alcova, and it says no dispensary. I went to Colorado and I chose the first one. My question, or something to consider or think about, is are these calls based on the number of cities that are in all the states rather than the number of cities that actually have dispensaries? Because in order, like if you go to Colorado, right, just click on Colorado and then scroll. Who wants to scroll through all, even though it's in alphabetical order, to possibly be within these, check these different ones that don't have them, right? Because you're going to be in eastern Colorado. So you might be paying for, in this case with Alaska, this no dispensary found. Are you paying for that call on a city where there's no dispensary, when maybe you could find a way to only pay for the calls that have dispensaries, like if this then that type of scenario where you kind of stop it halfway down the road, or you don't go down that road at all to get charged because it's already been explored. Do you see what I'm getting at? I'm not sure if you know how to do that, but it could be a good thing to find out to limit expenses that are unnecessary when other people want to build it like rough.
Yeah, absolutely. Now here's two things. I broke up with Google Maps completely, not Google completely. Google Maps for all the places, which is the Places API, but also Google Maps. Now, if you look at this is called OpenStreetMap. Man, even Google Maps, like imagine this. If I take off with this and I get better for every category that I add. So right now, all I have, if you see this, all I have is dispensaries. That's my only category. But imagine if I had a map call for every freaking call and it calls Google Maps. That's still going to charge me a ton. If I had 1 million pages, no, I don't want that. So I'm even using a free map now. I'm not playing this game. I don't want to ever wake up and be like, oh, I had 10 million visits. And now all of a sudden, Google to charge me all that.
Okay, whether it's Google or not, same question. How do we eliminate those searches, or I don't want to see those cities in the drop down that don't have dispensaries. How would I eliminate that?
For me, what I did is I just took this was the test. Does this work? In the future, would I do this again where I did every single city and state like this? No. I probably wouldn't do that unless I was trying to rank gas stations, right? Like that's the only thing I'm going to do that with, right? If I do this in the future, I'm going to be highly selective, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to pick the multiple cities, and I'm going to have the business that I rank for, or I'm going to have a product that could serve all those cities and states, or I'm going to weed them out, right? Exactly what you said. I'm not going to comb through it. However, like if let's just say Puerto Rico, probably don't need Puerto Rico. Right, if I'm selling to America,
right? However, I understand what you're saying. You're finding you're finding a solution by going a different direction. But you could also, how about finding a solution going the same direction? If you want to cast this wide net, but you don't want to hit all those cities that don't have fish in it, how could you do that rather than going one off? I mean, there's going to be small towns that I've never heard of that are going to have dispensaries or urgent cares, and then I have to go through multiple steps just to discover those. So, I mean, how could you still cast this wide net, but eliminate those that don't have what you want to weed out?
That's a great option. And I totally could with this, make it where it references, is it legal to sell there or not? Yes or no. Or is it, I could totally do that. Or if it returns 0, don't, whatever it is,
But so, I mean, just to get rid of the towns in this situation that don't have dispensaries, what would you do?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, when I was doing the charter school research, looking for schools near me or secondary schools near me or, different things like that, I was finding you know, there was a lot more search data in the places like Los Angeles, New York, you know, those populated metropolitan areas. So maybe stick to those instead of doing the whole country like you did.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. The way I would do this with it again is, like I said, I like the idea with the sports tickets. I like the idea of a global product, or the flip side is I like going super niche of those cities, like we're talking about, like that, and then dominating it and selling a local service like mold removal, right? With attic mold removal, you know? And so I was looking at today those keywords and then thinking about how I could rank for all of those in those cities and states. So that might be another way too. And so trying to figure out that process and then dividing these up by city. I mean, because we have all the cities and states, and I do think the city and state are the long tail keywords of this, you know, so I do think that's a benefit. So we'll see how it goes.
Or what about like the way Google does it? Like instead of searching it by the city, you just do like the search of dispensaries by me, and it just populates all of them that are nearest to you by proximity. I mean, is there a way that you've thought of that you could do that even by pulling a user's location and then pulling like the data of the closest dispensaries to them? Just out of
Oh yeah,
curiosity.
absolutely. Yeah. So let's just say we're in Cursor, right? So we're in Cursor. So check out this. This is in Cursor. I have two things. Okay. So one, I like to keep my test PHP, like this is like my most updated code. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this and move it over the index just so I don't lose my code. Okay. And then I'm going to paste it. Okay. So now we're in the test. Okay. So this is what, if you guys ever coded before, essentially this is what like a Visual Studio Code looks like. Okay. It looks just like this. All right. So now if I hit Command L on my computer, my Mac, it pops up this little chat over here. Okay. And then here's what it says. I could ask anything. So I could talk to this script. Well, here's what I could also do. I could also click this little plus button and I could add other scripts to the chat, which is for me is like amazing. So all of a sudden, if I want to tell it, hey, here's my sitemap, make sure it connects, or here's my blank, make sure it works, whatever. Right now watch this. I could sit here and chat and I could say, right, let's see. Let's just add a little like let's use this, right? Let's say I'm going to come in here and then I'm going to come into Cursor and I'm going to say here, I'm going to say add a clean little button under the search that says use that says click here to find dispensary nearest to me. All right. And use the user's location, city and state. Okay. And zip. Boom. All right. And now watch what happens. If I hit enter, check this out. I love Cursor. Watch what happens. It'll say, I'll help you add a geological button. Here's the necessary code changes. And then you guys, everyone here has used ChatGPT, right? Like, or even my AI team, right? Well, here's what happens. It's actually going to give me the code back. If you are using ChatGPT, this is the chat. It gives you the code. And you could copy and paste it into your code, right? Like that's super, we get that, all right? But you see how it says cancel generation and it's still generating. It's still going through this. Now watch this. If I come up here, you see where it says apply? I'm going to click apply and then watch this. It goes through my entire code. And then here, you see right here, green means add. You see now it says there's an accept or reject. Green means add. Red means take away. All right, well, it's taking this stuff away, but I really don't want it to 100% take it away. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to hit reject, right? And I'm going to say, can you make sure, because a lot of times it will take away a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want it to take a whole bunch of stuff. Can you make sure to only add the button and make sure to not make much other changes? these. Okay. And then I'm going to hit enter because I don't want it to do all that. I don't want it to change some of that stuff. Here's just the button with minimal changes. Thanks, bro. All right. And now it's going to do this thing. All right. Using my location, do all this stuff, get users thing. And it literally does all of this stuff. Okay. Like beautiful. Okay. And then I'm going to hit, it's done generating. And now I'm going to hit apply. It's going to go through this. You can see, if you see right here on this little tiny right-hand side, you can see it usually will tell you like where it makes the updates. Okay. So like it has this little line, it makes the updates here. It's not deleting much. Okay. I don't want it to delete much. And then I'm going to hit accept. And now if I copy this, Control A, and I go to my, if I go to my cPanel server and I go right here to index.php, I could hit edit, accept, and I could Control Alt and I could hit paste. And I could hit paste. And now we'll refresh. And check out this. Now we have a little thing. Where's our button? Any second now. Find dispensary, nearest dispensary using my location. If I click on it, does it work? All right, that's creepy. All right, it worked. All right. This is weirdly where I live. I'm not going to zoom in too much, but you guys can see me on the map. All right, there's my house. All right, that straight gets your address. All right. All right, well, these are the nearest dispensaries near me. This is 1 mile away. You can totally pinpoint where my house is from this thing. All right, so here's the thing. It didn't put in the city and state or the zip code in there. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Can you make sure to add the city and state and zip code to the search? The search once the user clicks the button. Also, also give some type of feedback when searching.
Give so type of feedback when searching.
Thank you. When searching, searching and style the button better, bro. All right, and then we'll hit enter. Okay.
Please.
Cool. All right. So look, now it's going to do this. So here's the thing. It's funny. All right. So it literally like spit out its like content role. Okay. So here's our code. What I like about this, cursor automatically like updates the code for it. Like it gives us those little like green things, green or red, right? So we can see what's being taken away. You're almost learning to read it, which from my AI team, sometimes it's really good. It returns the entire code, but it doesn't make fine tunes. And once you get after a certain amount of point, it sometimes breaks. So there's some feedback with that. All right, so look, so you can see it updates it. It removes this styling. Here's some better styling. All right, I absolutely love how easy this thing is to work. All right, and then I hit accept, copy and paste it, bring it back into my PHP file, Control-Alt, Control-V, save, refresh. Let's see what it looks like. All right, find nearest expensive nearest me using my location. Click it, getting your location. I love it. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that was clean. All right, it gave me my location. Here's my address area. God, that is so accurate. That is so weird. All right. All right, and now it works. Okay, so we just updated that, okay? So I dig it. The only thing I don't
Didn't
have
make
right
the button prettier.
What's that?
Didn't make the button prettier.
It didn't make the button prettier. All right, so we could tell it. All right, let's see. I don't really like how long it is. I feel like that's kind of what makes it like. Okay, so can
make
you
the button like stylish so it pops?
Can you make the button stylish? Stylish. So it pops. It's at the mercy of my spelling. Here's an eye-catching version of the button. All right, I hope it works this time. All right, it looks like it does. Cool. Oh, add a little hover effect. Clean. All right.
Imagine.
Nice. All right. So now we update it. Make sure it doesn't delete all the extra old code, right? Sometimes, no joke, you got to double check it because it will straight delete your extra old code, and like then you have to figure out how to get it back, and sometimes it can be a pain in the butt. So it's like a whole different skill coding with AI than it is anything else. All right, refresh. Let's check. All right, that's a little bit, dude. Like this is, I mean, that's like slightly better, but whatever.
We get the point.
I mean, yeah, it gets the point. All right, cool. All right, cool. I'm glad you do. All right, so this is how I work this. Essentially, you guys see the whole process. I would recommend finding data sources. 1, scrape the data. 2, find an open API that like you could use that's not going to cost you every single time it calls. Or 3, build a real business, just like Weed Maps, right? Weed Maps is essentially you see how they have a login and a sign up. Some of our other classes, we talked about creating logins and signups. That's where I see as the business, because imagine some of these, like these businesses, they'll have it where you could get promoted, right? Look, even they use Mapbox. Or they use Mapbox. That's what's up. All right, so essentially you could see how other people are doing businesses and creating these things. I believe that we could make it where there's multiple different businesses by having a sign up, login, making it where they could buy promoted, anything like that is kind of where what I see as the next step for me. So, yeah. Any other questions for today's class? What do you guys think about this? Are you guys excited? Anybody going to take action, and then you guys going to share your results, or what?
I will.
Let's go, Rob. Heck yeah, man.
I'm gonna add something like the chat. I do a little bit something not similar, but I do like local SEO a lot. So I do pages to cover city and services like in hundreds. The challenge that I found when getting them indexed is not a problem, but keeping them ranking high, that's the key. So what I did with them, having more internal links on each page, that helped a lot. Google sees it as a topical cluster of the whole pages. So maybe we could, I'm not sure if you have it already, like some kind of internal linking into the pages inside every page. That will help a lot as well.
Yeah, the main way is all of these are internal linking. So that's how I'm internal linking, just by city, and so that's kind of what I did, is just put it all in here. So yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. So that's amazing. So you said you do local stuff, right?
Yes, I build softwares. I build as you mentioned, like an AI developer. I'm not a developer by trade. So,
dude, we are the future, bro. Don't let anybody tell us otherwise, bro. Like this is
man, yeah.
Like this is. There's no way that anyone's work. All these other old school developers, they're not working as fast as we are. I promise you, man. Like there's.
Oh no, I'm building tools left and right. Like on the weekend, I built something really cool, and it's just like a task management. Like I want it for myself, and everybody's loving it, and I left it open. If you want to check it, would love you to see it, man. Rule your .day. So let me know if you like it.
Rule your .day. Yeah, can we check it out right now? Rule your .day. All right.
So that's all local storage.
What?
Everything is.
You built this?
Yeah. And over a weekend.
Oh, this is beautiful. Look at all these options. Look at this.
So those are the widgets on the side. So
yeah, tell us more.
So basically, I'm how it is when we have multiple. I have multiple SaaS, multiple businesses I'm running, and it's really hard when you go to Slack and different management softwares, and to be you get burned out really quick, right, with all the tasks that you have. So I wanted to build something, just rule one day by day. I only have 3 top priority tasks. That's it. I don't need more than 3 top priority. I could put as many as I want as secondary, and I want something to track and a place that gives me, stress free. If you check, I even like added a few widgets, like you could punch a customer. So you check it. There's a lot of widgets in there.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was just going to say something stupid.
Yeah, but it's, so you add the 3 tasks, and this is all without any sign in or anything. It's all free right now. I'm not monetizing it in any way. Maybe if, sometimes you build something for free, and that will be the big one in the future when you get the traffic. So, but yeah, that's something that's Bolt, all Bolt.
Nice.
That's new. And Cursor, of course. Cursor.
That's beautiful. So let me ask you, I haven't used Bolt myself. Does Bolt give you the HTML, like all the code that you could move over to another software, or what?
Bolt is, it'll give you everything. It will do the design, the UI, the front. I mean, it's still very new. It's the new kid in the block right now. It builds much faster than Cursor. Cursor, if you want to, you want to go like specific files, specific code, with Bolt, anybody could do this. It's just, prompting. I do what I call it AI stacking. So I use Harper plugin. What it does, I do like, scraping information from different websites, and then I take it to Claude and basically ask it to give me the prompt for Bolt to use it instead of just writing me the prompt. So that's keep using the AI to build the prompts as well. So not just,
Yeah, that's cool. I think, Jeff, I might have sent you the link because in my other mastermind, they're using Bolt. And I wasn't sure if I had sent that to you when they were talking about it or not.
Yeah, I literally just haven't tried it. And I think you were the first one to show me, Troy. And I feel like seeing this, wow, man, you put this together. It looks amazing. It's on your own domain. Well done.
And you can deploy it. So it deploys directly if you go to Bolt and deploy it directly. I built my site, not just the software. The challenge here.
I'm done. I'm going to take a nap, guys. I'm done for today. 100% complete, baby. That was cool.
Well, see, Rob, I was looking you up on social media. Are you on Facebook or LinkedIn or anything?
Yeah, Facebook. I have YouTube. I have a couple SaaS. I have Blockstorm.ai, which is creating AI content.
Well, look, I tried looking you up. My name might be easier to link, or I could send you.
Oh yeah. If you put Rob Music SEO, there's a DJ guy. I need to outrank him. His name is. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, cool. Put the link in the chat or something. Let's connect. And are you in the Facebook group?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just gonna give you my link in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Sweet.
That's built on Bolt as well.
All right, Jeff. Looks like you need to check out Bolt. We got a Bolt user.
That's awesome. Heck yeah.
See, maybe get some ideas from it.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Well, thank you guys for showing up. You guys were freaking awesome. Thank you, Rob. Good seeing your face. Yeah. So.
Nice meeting you. Good seeing you, Jeff. Everybody else.
Take care.
Same here. Thank you. Nice to meet you guys.